All right, we are live.
We are. Sorry we're late. I sidetracked us terribly.
No, I think that was
I
me
am
sidetracking.
Chloe,
I'm Sandy.
and this is WordStitch.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, okay, so fair warning. I'm on not very much sleep right now. In like that 2 or 3 hours of sleep kind of sense. So this could either be great fun or totally lousy.
Or a total
Hey Devin,
disaster,
hey
and I'm
Mitchell.
okay with that.
But Chloe, presumably you got like normal sleep, right? Like you're not doing like bad things to yourself like I am.
I mean, everything's all messed up now. That is the world that we're in right now. I am doing my best. But yeah, things are stressful right now.
So stressful. So stressful. So I had to redo my calendar last week. Like I had a moment when I like was taking my dog for a walk. I think this was like the day after our last WordStitch. I like took the dog for a walk and spent the entire walk like trying not to cry over, I think, writing stress and like coronavirus stress and such. And I'm not the kind of person who does this. Like that was weird for me. So I concluded that the 3 books I told myself I was going to finish in April.
That's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah.
happening. So I totally redid my calendar, and like my calendar officially says like it has like one thing draft, and then I've got like 1 book to read. So I'm feeling significantly less stressed, but I'm still like I'm mostly spending my time doing stuff like making masks and like trying
Yes.
sourdough bread. All of these things have been kind of unsuccessful experiments so far. Hi Destiny, hi Misha, hi Devin. And yeah. Chloe, you at least still get to go to work. Get to, have to? I don't know.
Yeah, have to. I did cave and made masks today because I just transferred stores, and my baker at my last store had it right before I left. And then the store that I am at now that I started on Saturday, half the staff is out because of I guess they're doing a contamination thing where if somebody in the store has a diagnosis of it, as opposed to like everybody that doesn't have a diagnosis, anybody that they had any sort of prolonged exposure to also has to go into quarantine. So the store that I just transferred to actually has a ton of borrowed staff at it because the entire deli had to be swapped out with another store's deli.
Oh, wow.
And then like a bunch of, I guess there's only like 4 managers in the store now. Because it was actually the customer service manager who was diagnosed. So I caved and I made masks today because it's a
You can't get this. You just can't. You just can't.
yeah.
There's
Well, I
no.
can't get it now because I don't know if you heard, but tigers and cats are getting it.
I know, and you have kitties.
I have kitties, and I live for my cats, so I know that they're putting out these things that like, don't worry, everybody, you can't get it from your cats. Your cats could just get it from you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that is all I care about is getting my cats.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, but it is 4:05. Let's do
We should
Santa
run,
for a
and then
second.
we should not talk about coronavirus when we
Let's
come back.
not.
We'll talk about other stuff. We'll talk about what we're working on when we get back, and we'll ask
That's
you
a
guys
great
what you're
idea.
working on.
All
Yeah.
right.
So let me
Sounds
share.
good.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to share screen. So
It's
we're
all
going to
right.
a little bit more of a delay.
I have a word prompt for us.
Ooh, oh, you jerk. I was folding laundry right before
Such a
this.
good prompt.
So yeah, we will see you guys in 10 minutes. Get those words written.
Okay.
Okay, let me just finish this sentence.
Finish the sentence. Hello to those of you who've joined. We've got a couple new people here. I think we have Words Fall and Sarah Keefe, and I don't feel like I recognize Destiny or Misha either. From ours, maybe from other author viewers. Yeah. And hello to those of you who've been here before. We have Haley and Darren, and I know Devin was here way early. And guess who joined us again? We have Herb.
Herb, I saw. Welcome back, Herb.
Hey. Yeah. We've missed Herb for like a month or something, so good to have him back. So Chloe, how'd you do?
I did 330.
330. Nice. Good. I have no idea how many words I did, but I wrote. Like I actually wrote. So that's super, super positive. No, somebody's stream is buffering. I don't know why that is. We're not buffering on our end, so sorry about that.
Right. At least it is buffering and not dying. I don't want to curse us, but so far. Okay, I'm not going to curse us.
Don't do it.
I apologize for even bringing up anything that might have come anywhere close to us being cursed.
No. Ooh, hey, we've got some people who did some like pretty high word counts there. Destiny got 520 words. That's pretty good in like a 10-minute. That's a ton.
Cannot do that in 10 minutes.
And Darren says he just wrote his second book in a week and finished the first draft today. That's like a lot. 7,000 words every day. That's insane.
I can't do that.
Yeah, I 6,000 is my max, and I can only do it for 3 days at a time. That's it.
Right. Like I can do a single day of 7,000, not with too much trouble, but only that one day.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's like you can do like a 10, but like that's like your like nano rush or something.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, Chloe, are you camp nanoing right now?
I am.
Yeah. So what's your camp project?
I'm working on Hazel.
Excellent.
So I am working on the third book of the series that I have been working on for the last few months. It's pretty much the only project that I've been working on. I keep trying to go to other ones and have not had a whole lot of luck with that. So yeah, I'm just sticking with this, and I am enjoying the fact that it's not due until Halloween, because in November I wrote one that was for Christmas, and then in January I think it was, I wrote one that was for Easter. So if nothing else, I'm going to enjoy having a great big block of time to like edit and all of that.
And your friend Sandy might be able to like read it ahead of time. Because there will be a month. Chloe is really funny with these books. She's reading this series about like demons who like delicious things like candy and Peeps, and well, I guess that was just Locke, right? But
yeah,
she's writing about funny demons, and it's hilarious. And I get to read it. And every time I get the chance to read it, like there's always this like sort of like crisis where like you're like, I just don't know if this is funny enough. Like this just might not be good enough. Like I don't know if people are gonna like this character. I don't know if he may not be funny enough. And I'm like cracking up as I read, or like totally in love with the character after like one paragraph. So you have nothing to worry about. Nothing. And you need to write the book.
I'm not worried with this one. I have some worries with this one, but definitely not that. I'm having some continuity issues, but that's it.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. Since you ended the last book on a terrible cliffhanger. Terrible. Horrible.
I told you this one's going to be even worse, so suck it up.
I know. It's okay. I'm obviously in need of the next book. So I'm still working on that like villain story that I was working on last month, and I've decided that I need to go ahead and let that have like as much time to simmer as it needs, because I don't want to like I don't want to mess that one up. Like, it's kind of a, I don't know. Those characters are important to the series, so I don't want to get them wrong, this time. But I've got like a cover coming up in August for a book 3, and I need to finish a book 2 before then. So I'm going to have to get my act together like relatively soon. And I'm not camping because I feel that it's extra pressure. Yeah. Extra pressure that I cannot handle right this second. So here's an interesting question for you. So since you're camping, but you're sheltered at home when you're not working, is your region like active at all?
Not really.
Oh,
I haven't heard much from them, but I mean, it's a small region anyways, so it's not like I was expecting miracles from them.
yeah. I think that this is, I know we're not supposed to talk about the coronavirus, right? But it's like, it's so, oh my gosh, we can talk about Scrivener.
We can absolutely talk about Scrivener. You just gotta ask us any question you have about Scrivener, and we will happily answer that question.
We will so happily answer it. I think we might represent different ends of the Scrivener spectrum. I'm like madly in love with it. Like I recognize that there are some limitations, but mostly I can't imagine using anything else. And Chloe uses it, but only because there isn't anything better. I think that's probably the best way to describe it, right?
So 100%, yes.
Yeah. So any questions about Scrivener are welcome, because otherwise we're going to end up talking about how like writer mental health just like takes this huge dive during times like this. A friend of mine said something really interesting to me a couple evenings ago. She said, like if you think about when literature is written about like wars and such, it's written after the war, right? Like you don't write the World War II book during World War II. You write it after you survive. And we're sort of all going through like kind of a war right this second, but we're processing and we're creative. So I don't know, Chloe's always fine, but I am not totally fine because of all of these things. And I think if you're not fine, or if like you're struggling, then that's probably pretty normal. So glad to have you here. It is almost 4:25. So why don't we do this? How about we talk about Scrivener at our next break, but we like write for now. Should we do that?
Yeah. Yeah, and in the meantime, while we're taking this writing break, if you have any questions you want to throw at us about Scrivener, we can certainly field them. Go ahead and start now.
Sorry. Actually enjoying that scene.
There.
Okay.
I'm really proud of myself on that one. I got completely sidetracked, and I feel like I lost like 10 minutes, but I still got 607 on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just kind of had a weird little moment, and it took me a minute to get back like focused afterward, and I guess I got back focused. But I was writing a really goofy action scene. You know how my action scenes are normally just like mass chaos and not actually action so much as like bizarre crap happening. I can zen through those pretty quickly.
So I'm kind of revising writing, so I don't have a word count, but I'm still pleased with the progress, mostly because it just seems fun today, and that's a really good thing. Let's talk about Scrivener for a few minutes and why we love and hate it.
That is an accurate statement.
It's totally accurate. I feel like we should like go back and forth. Like maybe you should get a chance to say something you love or hate.
Excuse me.
And I should get a chance to say something I love or hate, because otherwise we have no structure.
Was there any questions? I didn't actually read through comments because I was writing. That's one of the downfalls of hosting during a nano is actually like I want to talk to you guys, but only in the breaks. And other than that, I'm really trying to write.
we have people who are totally productive, 643 words, a whole like 1,000K. And you know what? 94 words and reaching that 13K is good. So, yeah. Oh, somebody else is commenting. Wordfall loves the color coding and separating chapters in Scrivener. It took me a really long time to figure out how to do that. Like, I feel like I did not realize you could color code for a whole solid year before after I started using Scrivener. Do you color code your stuff, Chloe?
I don't. I want to be someone who does it, but I don't. And I'm sure that, I don't know, is it more of an editing thing? Is that what you use it for? Because I haven't really figured out. Like, I've seen that there's like all of the levels that they can be labeled as like first draft and second draft and revised or whatever it all is. And that just doesn't, I guess I'm too linear to actually need anything like that. But do you use it for something other than that?
No. I mean, that is basically what you use it for. Like, the color coding corresponds with, I think it's like called the status of the, like it's basically like a meta data tag. And here I'm trying to see, I can actually pull mine up because I color code everything.
While you're doing that, Wordsfall, I do agree. I like that they have a lot more advanced word count options. Or that you can like see word count in a lot of different ways. You have the total and you've got the session and you've got the chapters or the scenes, I guess. So yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is obviously much larger than you actually need it, but like, so those folders there, the color coding, so that all corresponds to, I have it called type, but like this is I think this is actually very cool about Scrivener. So like, I want to say Scrivener defaults and makes the colors called part or something like that, but you can actually change that label. So like, I don't know why I call it type here. I change it every time I look at it. But I use it to designate, in this case, who the characters are, because I'm dealing with a lot of characters. But in this case, it's also who the characters are. But in some cases, it's what like part I'm on. So like green will be the beginning, yellow will be the end. You guys don't need to see all that bother. So I actually think that's very cool. Like, I feel like it's very organized on Scrivener's part.
Oh, and so I guess there's a little bit of confusion. When I say editing, I'm literally just referring to anything other than writing that first draft. So yes, when I say editing, I am meaning like revisions and that sort of stuff. But that's all kind of the same thing for me, just because of how I write. So I don't distinguish between them. I just don't have the terminology in my brain for that.
Oh, that's definitely different for me. I draft and revise in Scrivener. I transfer to Word to edit, and then like I transfer back into Scrivener for my EPUBs. So there's a little thing that goes on there. But so when do you move from Scrivener to Word?
So I will move from Scrivener to Word after my first edit, just in case I do have to like swap chapters or anything like that. But it's rare that I have to do it. So it's really like so I guess for me, it would be when I go from edit to proofreading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to do it, I think.
Yeah. Because again, I just don't have that extra. I only do one round of editing before I do like proofreading.
So, okay. So what do you hate about Scrivener, Chloe?
Oh, you know what I hate about Scrivener.
I do.
Their tables are terrible. I always have to have Excel open because that is how I organize my characters. I can't do a character sheet for every single one of my characters. I just need a table or a spreadsheet. I just use a blank spreadsheet because obviously they're a lot more flexible than like making a table in Word or anything else. But I sort all of my information if I'm just writing like paranormal romance or contemporary, then I pretty much just need a character thing. If I'm doing a like fantasy, then I'll have spreadsheets for the settings, but I really I have to have them all on the same page. I can't have separate pages, and Scrivener has a terrible table options. So I have to have Excel. I don't have a choice in that matter, or some other sort of spreadsheet. I just happen to have Word. But
it is. I mean, they have tables, right? But it's crazy that Scrivener does not have a spreadsheet option. You know, 'cause you don't just need tables; you need tabs, and you need sums and columns.
And it's not just that; it's what they do have for tables is extremely basic and difficult to work with.
Yeah,
so
and it's one of those
things. A table in Microsoft Word is better than a table in Scrivener,
which is not saying a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pull up this enormous file that I have in Scrivener, and it's going to take forever. So I'll give you a thing I love and hate about it.
Okay.
So I love that Scrivener can organize so much information. So I usually have one Scrivener file per book, but then for some of my series, I have a Scrivener file for the series itself, where I keep information like character bios and such. And I think that's a really useful, handy little tool. So I'm creating a series website right now. It's been great to have something that I can actually pull from. But Scrivener takes forever to load when you put a bunch of stuff into it. So
really quickly, throw my screen up there because WordStitch wants to know. Okay, so to find out how much you wrote in a sprint.
That yours or mine?
Oh, that's yours.
Why is it
there? Okay. So on your document, you'll have a project tab right here. And if you just go down to project targets, it will open this window. This has what I just did on it. You've got your grand total, which for me, I'm at 14K. Yeah. And then for my last session, I had 607. That was my last sprint. And I just hit the reset button. And now for my next sprint, I will use that number. So that is how you find out what you wrote in a sprint. You just got to make sure you keep that reset so you can actually use the numbers each time or not worry about it. Okay, you can go back to not. my
No,
screen
I
anymore.
can't because we need to pull the timer up. But
Oh, is it that time already? Oh, holy
that
crap.
time already. Yeah, because we can
Okay.
talk so much about Scrivener. We'll talk more in a few
Okay.
minutes there.
Let
Oops.
me flip these. No. I did that. I just was sharing screen, not application. There we go. Sharing application now. And so we're going to write for the next 30 minutes. Yeah, so this will be our 1K 30, although it looks like a bunch of you are hitting 1Ks on much less than 30 minutes, but maybe I'll get it on 30 minutes.
Because they're superstars.
Maybe. Okay. All right, we'll see you guys in a half hour. Cool.
All right. So I finished a scene. That was good for me.
Excellent. I got 1,047.
Very nice. Very nice. Remember that sleep deprivation? I can't recall what we're supposed to be talking about. Is it Scrivener?
We were talking about Scrivener. I don't know if we are still on that subject or not.
Yeah. I think that we were complaining about Scrivener's charts, right? But
oh yeah, that was my complaint. And then you were talking about what you liked about it, which I don't think was actually the color coding. I don't know that you ever got to it.
Yeah, because when I'm sleep deprived, things like color coding are especially appealing to me. Like that's my nerd. But I did remember a thing. I think so the best thing for me about Scrivener recently has been the outlining function. I think that Scrivener's outlining function is fantastic. And you have to like learn how to use it, because if you're not aware that it's a feature, then I could see where it would kind of like I don't think probably most people start Scrivener understanding that it's available. But so like, let's see, whose screen am I sharing? So that's my outline view right there. And that has been hugely helpful for like massive stories where I need to figure out what to do with my characters. I feel like it's just like so like, extremely nice. And then the color coding is gorgeous. But so that I do like. And oh my gosh, everybody here is doing so well. 1209, another 1,000 words. That's incredible. Also, getting chicken prepped is a critical thing, because writers gotta eat. So
yes,
yeah. I don't know why, but that just made me think of this dinosaur thing that I listened to the other day. I
must know though, because some of my favorite YouTube videos are dinosaur related.
Well, I listened to this. It was it was an audiobook. It was an audiobook called A Grown-Up's Guide to Dinosaurs. And the Grown-Up's Guide to Dinosaurs like ultimately concluded that chickens are dinosaurs.
Oh, yes.
So
I've heard that from a few places, yes.
Yeah, right? So now every time I eat chicken, I'm thinking like, ha, humans 1, dinosaurs 0.
Oh God, the dinosaurs have beat me then.
Yeah, right. Like I feel really good about that.
So I like that wasn't even like, I figured because of the sleep deprivation that was gonna go someplace really weird, and it didn't even.
Doesn't that seem weird to you? I'm
no,
comparing
because
that chicken to like a T-Rex.
Oh,
well.
And you went through something very much chicken related. Chickasaurus, yes.
Kind of chicken related.
Oh no. What is happening?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a big disaster also.
Yeah. I was gonna have to run the show, and it was gonna go into like my favorite YouTube video of the Jurassic Park theme played on the melodica, which is a terrible but hilarious video. Yeah, so I also, for Scrivener, like how I can do outlines on it, but I don't actually use their outlining function. I use a very small percentage of Scrivener. It's not that I don't know how to use the other features. It's that I want to do things my way. And Scrivener does not do that. But so what I do with Scrivener that I like is I use the 2-pane function on it. So I have all of my Scrivener in one, or all of my outline in one document, and then, or one scene, I guess, when research, whatever. And then next to it will be the actual scene that I'm working on. And then I can just look and look at that stuff on my outline. to see what it is. But again, I do also have that problem where, like, if I'm using characters that I don't need that much, if I've got secondary characters, then I do have to have a whole other file or a whole other program open to deal with that.
I've actually been using, I mean, I don't keep an Excel spreadsheet of my characters. I like sort of like short character sheets, not the like, this is what they look like, this is where they live, like super extensive things, but like this is how I described them in book 1, so that I don't like give them, you know, color eyes in book 2, and like simple stuff like, I don't know, basic characteristics or like what their biggest problem is. And Scrivener does a really nice job with templates. So you can create like a character worksheet that works for you. This is what I have done. And then like copy it over to other instances of Scrivener. And actually like the Scrivener templates generally, like the bigger templates that you can use to create new projects are pretty impressive. But again, like, you know, I'm not sure most people getting into Scrivener would ever use any of that. Like,
I mean, I feel like a lot do. I hear about it a lot from the people who really like Scrivener, is that they love having all of those options. But for me, where that goes wrong is that I don't like having to look at all of these different files to find a character. Especially like, so with me, because I write paranormal, a lot of times a secondary character that I'll grab for a specific trait. Like right now, in this novel, I'm dealing with angels, and I have the angels in, I think it's 7 different disciplines. So sometimes I need an angel from a specific discipline, and I can just grab one from that list and have like other info there for that character. So, you know, I can just find it really easy by looking down that spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, those are totally things that are so like writer specific, aren't they? Like,
it is.
Yeah. This is. I do have spreadsheets too, but I think there's a lot of features that people don't know about in Scrivener that would substitute decently.
Well, and there are certainly a lot of things that I've never used and I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because what I write, it doesn't apply to me. I realize that as a romance writer, there are certainly a lot of things that like a true fantasy writer, even if I am writing fantasy romance, it just wouldn't apply to me. But like, there's like the keywords, and I don't know, like there's a whole flipping tab on Scrivener that I have no idea what it is.
Which one is that?
There's the keywords, and there's like I don't know. Like if you go into the info thing, there are like all of those buttons at the top. There's that control what that bottom pane is, I guess. And I have no metadata. What is metadata like in this instance?
I mean, actually, I think that the metadata is specifically like metadata that they attach to the text files. Like those are specific little boxes that you would find if you went into the text file and like looked at the properties. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
I'm going to counter that only because of what I was looking at as you said that. And I just noticed that like the tab, at least on mine, in between synopsis and that rotating box is the general metadata, and it's POV and status and modified, whatever that is. Oh, the date for it. So I guess that is the metadata right there, is those tags.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how you would actually use that
because you're not actually using the categories and such. But what I mean is I believe that like all those little documents are a text file in a folder, and that that Scrivener has somehow managed to connect like specific metadata to those, which I'll never find because that's how it should be anyway. but that's how I think about it, as like that's the, I don't know, it's how you're organizing your documents. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does not matter. The point is, to the person who said, do you guys use Scrivener?
Look what you've done to us.
We do. And you should too, for many reasons, mostly because it is actually, here, I'll give you one good reason to use Scrivener: the save function. Scrivener is better than any program that I know. It's saving your damn work.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
absolutely
might be the best feature. Because, like, how many times are you writing something and then, like, I don't know, you get distracted or whatever, you walk away. Like, what if the power goes out? What if, like, you know, if something random happens? And Word will, like, catch your stuff sometimes, you know, but not always. But Scrivener is saving, I think, every 3 seconds. So that might be the biggest thing. I suppose Google Docs does that too, but, like, if you need spreadsheets, the Google Docs is for sure not organizing all of your files. And
I've just heard a lot of ishy things about Google Docs. I've heard that if you have a file that's over like 40,000 words, it kind of, the whole, like, it just doesn't like to process it anymore.
yeah.
And I know a lot of people say that they just like make a different file for each scene. And that is not my jam at all. I'm not okay with that. That's exactly how I end up with like everything in complete chaos if I don't have literally something like Scrivener to keep them organized for me.
Yeah.
I have mentioned a few times on our show, though, that there is an alternative to Scrivener that I do support, and that is YWriter. YWriter is not as pretty. Yes, we do virtual write-ins every Monday. Most of the time, 4 to 6, we do our best to keep that time slot. But so YWriter, thank you, Sandy. YWriter is very similar to Scrivener. It is a free program. It does not look as nice, but I do think that if you are trying to organize things by, like, if you are trying to use some sort of a keyword function or like tracking where characters are, things like that, YWriter does a much more seamless job of it. YWriter is really good at like marking down what characters are on which scenes, and you can, there's like an object tab, there's a place tab. It just already has a much better organization in place for it. It just kind of, Scrivener took over. And again, people like how pretty Scrivener is. So that kind of worked against YWriter. But if you are thinking, like if you are currently using just a regular word processor like Word or Google Docs. Oh, I am so sorry, Misha. I'm sorry that happened to you. I have absolutely had many things eaten along the way. Thankfully, I feel like everything has just gotten better over the years, but I have had Microsoft Word eat 60,000 words of mine before, so I feel your pain. But yeah, if you are thinking about trying something like Scrivener, but you don't know if you want to pay for it, YWriter is a good way to get your feet wet and see if you want something that is specifically for novel writing, and we'll have that sort of organization system.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, in fairness, Scrivener hardly ever crashes and eats stuff. Like, I've had it happen once. Yeah. It was like 100 degrees outside, and my computer was literally like frying.
Yeah.
And it was still only one scene. And YWriter is sort of like the off-brand, right? So like you go with something like YWriter, and you're not going to have nearly the help that you would if something goes poorly in Scrivener. But that is beside the point. We are writing. So
yes, we have our final 10-minute. There we go. Perfect. So we'll see you guys after our little cool down sprint. The Scrivener struggle is, however, real.
Okay. All right. I got into a second scene. What about you?
I also started a new scene and I wrote 372 words.
We have many comments about Scrivener. I'm sorry, I just totally got distracted by it. Yeah, this is, if you're watching, one more good thing about Scrivener. That really good free trial. So good. So good. And then the coupon that you get if you complete Nano, and you can like buy it for 50% off. And the fact that it's not a subscription program, right? So you can actually like buy it once and that's it. And I think they probably do so well because they like, they're like a tiny little team probably creating this like one program, right? And everybody in the world needs it. So it's, they don't have to do anything but just sit and make passive income off of it. Although I would like Scrivener for Word to come out in Scrivener 3.
Yes. Yeah, and that is a really long time coming now. I feel like we're like at the 2-year mark now since Apple's Scrivener 3 came out, right?
Oh, I think we're at like 4. Like, I think, yeah, it's been.
There was a point where I kind of lost track. So there is also a downfall of Scrivener that if you are Microsoft like we are, they have not. We have an inferior version of it. I hear that the Apple version is amazing. But the flip side is that I have used their beta. Was it actually Scrivener 3? Like there is a beta version of it, and I hated it. So the flip side is maybe Scrivener 3 for Apple or for Windows sucks, and we're better off just like taking Scrivener 2 and accepting it.
Probably, and that's it for us, right? So that's the end of our thing. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and listening to us ramble about how Scrivener is good and bad. We'll be back on Monday. We were doing like some serious virtual sprints for a while there. Like we did like 2 or 3 that one week. And then I think I got like burnt out of actually having to host them. And so I just started watching other people's.
Well, and I think also the thing has gotten to all of us. So I really haven't been watching any either because like and now with it being Nano, unless I know that the person hosting is really like militant about getting the sprints going, like I really can't have that 20-minute downtime that a lot of them have. So I've just been doing my own thing on Discord and been happy with that.
Yeah. So if you're joining us, we are militant. We are totally militant about our schedule. Because otherwise I think we talk through breaks. We need like a good time.
We have to stop ourselves constantly.
Yeah. All right. So
if this is your first time viewing, you will always get the same amount of sprints, the same amount of time at the same time because we run them every 10 minutes, except that we've got a 15-minute break after the big 30. Yeah.
Oh my God, we're totally neurotic. We're those people.
I think it's going to be that consistent. I think because again, you're right. I'm not here to chat. Like the chatting is just filling in that time while I kind of like get my crap together for the next one.
Yeah, you guys get snacks.
Yeah. So we will see you guys all next Monday. If we don't see you before then, we have no idea what we're doing. If we do another one, we'll post it in AuthorTube.
Oh yeah. Although subscribe, right? We're so bad at this.
Subscribe and like the page. If you like paranormal smut, hit me up. I got some.
We have to be better at self-promotion. We are so not good. All right, guys.
We got the words, and that's the important thing.
That is right. That is right. So, yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.